front. It's when we get the stronger upper level winds right out and over top of that warm and humid air that we maximize the severe weather potential. And today the front is getting out a little ahead of the strongest of upper level winds, and for that reason we're not seeing quite as much of a severe threat. So it's mostly going to be a wind and hail threat today, and that'll be across the eastern Great Lakes, interior parts of the Northeast, back down through the Ohio Valley. Could be a tornado or two, but certainly not the amount of tornadoes that we've seen in previous days. And then here into the Northeast tomorrow, that severe threat continues. Again, mostly wind and hail, and moving towards the 95 corridor. Steph Reynolds, back to you.
Okay, thanks, CP. Let's take a look at your day ahead. And if you happen to be in the Midwest, to be more specific, Des Moines. Great city, wonderful people, great roads. If you take the roads north, you're going to run into clouds. Go south, more clouds. But as it stands in Des Moines and Green Bay, plenty of sunshine. That's going to change because as we get to the midday hour, we're going to see a bit more of that convection fire up. Could see some more cloud cover, but then the storms will arrive in Green Bay, maybe some north of Des Moines, and certainly into the Ohio Valley and into the eastern Great Lakes. Could be very, very rainy for you in spots like Minneapolis. There's the story in Chicago. Mix of sun and clouds and 82, Steph.
Yeah, not too hot there, but it is sweltering in the south, and sometimes you just feel like you need to lay down. You're so hot. We're talking heat exhaustion. It's a real thing, and it can be dangerous. Tips to help you beat that after your local on the 8th.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, heavy thunderstorms, high 84. Chance of rain, 80%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms, low 76. Chance of rain, 80%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thunder Dragons. It's time to get a hotel.
Hey, Razor, check this out. We can save big with Priceline Express deals.
You know what, man? These guys ain't no dragons.
They're cool. These deals are legit.
Yeah, we're cool. She's cool. We're cool.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharpshooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Ground fences, trees, even mulched beds. Cause the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
After 50 years of designing cars for crash survival, Subaru has developed our most revolutionary feature yet. A car that can see trouble and stop itself to avoid it. When the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety tested front crash prevention, nobody beat Subaru models with eyesight. Not Honda, not Ford, or any other brand. Subaru Eyesight, an extra set of eyes every time you drive.
Red, white, and blue pancakes are under $5. That's about as American as it gets.
What do you mean?
Blueberry pancakes, strawberries, and cream cheese icing starting at just $4.99. Apple pie, watch out.
Welcome to Denny's.
Sealy Posturepedic Hybrid, the contouring comfort of cooling gel memory foam in the top half, and the deep down support of titanium alloy springs underneath, making it perfect for everyone. This 4th of July, get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic Hybrid mattress.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, mess with the world.
50 miles on a flat. Because if your tires keep rolling, your day does too. And there's no better place to get your Bridgestone Drive Guard tires than Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Andrew, Rita, Ivan, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe, Shannon. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Ugh, the stress.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
Past the hour, watching two big stories this morning. Of course, a tropical depression there off the coast of Florida could become our first named tropical storm and potentially hurricane in the Carolinas. And then, of course, the severe weather on the right-hand side of your screen. Several reported tornadoes yesterday, and this thing is still kicking.
Yeah, and there's another big story, too. There's several. The other one we're following is the heat, and here's a live look at Atlanta, Georgia. Beautiful morning, but so misleading. It is going to be very, very warm today. Hot Atlanta, that's the nickname. It's going to ring true today. Highs expected to be in the mid-90s, Steph.
All thanks to this high pressure that is actually helping direct our tropical depression. It's also bringing a southerly flow, so that means warm air, because our winds go from the south to the north, and humidity as well. Highs in the 90s. With that humidity, though, it's going to feel like it's above 100 degrees.
Absolutely sweltering stuff. You know, that heat is really gripping the south and much of the east coast today. It's going to be affecting many people with those temperatures inching close to triple digits in many spots. And with that in mind, we want to give you some tips on how to stay safe outside in terms of the heat.
All right, so we have Dr. Shearer, who is the Director of Emergency Medicine at Mount Sinai Hospital, joining us this morning. And we want to talk about the heat for all ages. And, you know, they say the young and the old. Right. I grew up in Florida. We played outside in the heat with no problem. What's the threshold for kids?
I mean, you're not going to be able to keep the kids out of the heat. So the threshold is once the temperature starts getting above 90 and the humidity is climbing, they're going to have a more difficult time regulating their temperature. Mm-hmm. So you just have to make sure that they're staying hydrated, taking breaks, coming in every once in a while, getting out of the sun, and doing what they need to do to cool down.
Can we speak about hydration for a moment? Because there's many sports drinks that there are stars in the sky. What is better, a sports drink or just good old-fashioned water?
For the most part, good old-fashioned water is going to be excellent and what you really need. Maybe when you're exercising and you need to replete your fluids faster, the sports drinks will be a little bit better. That combination of sugar and the salts does help you absorb a little bit more of the liquid faster, but really most of the time it's just water.
If you do have a kid that's running around playing outside, what are some of the signs of the heat stroke? Because we've all seen the rosy cheeks. Does that just mean they're hot, or what should we really be looking for?
Right, I mean, they become more flushed as you circulate more blood up to the skin as a way of trying to get rid of more of the heat. So heat exhaustion early, maybe their temperature is going to be rising, but they'll be sweating. Maybe they'll get a little bit nauseous, and just of muscle aches, cramps, fatigues. Heat stroke is really the extreme, when the body temperature rises above 104 degrees and you get real confusion. So that's really the extreme, and that's when you really need to be doing things like calling 911, getting some emergency services.
Putting ice packs on
Putting ice packs, misting, sprinkling water on, or spraying with a mister, because that really helps you cool down faster.
Just common sense. And worst case scenario, you just stay inside.
Stay inside, stay in the shade, keep hydrated are the major things.
Okay, thanks so much for your time here. Good advice, and we'll certainly take it to heart. Let's find out if the heat is going to break with the check of the 7-day forecast.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, not too much for the eastern seaboard. Going to be warm, 93 in Atlanta today, 90 in Boston, 89 New York City tomorrow. Some severe weather, still some heat into the Ohio Valley, into the 95 corridor as well. And as we head into Thursday, we'll be watching, of course, what happens with this tropical, what will probably become a tropical storm, moving up the eastern seaboard for the 4th of July. So that's going to be the big what happens with that system. As we head into the weekend, though, and this is really important, Reynolds was talking about this earlier, it's going to be out of here. The system, no matter what happens, is out of here for the weekend. Temperatures in the 80s in New York, 78 in Boston, 80 in Chicago. So for a lot of people, the weekend after the 4th of July, a little bit better than the day itself. As we head into Sunday, the heat starts to build back into the northeast. Showers and storms in through the upper Midwest. Also some showers and storms down across the southeast. You'll notice, though, the heat breaks a little bit down across the southeast with a high of 88 in Atlanta. Meanwhile, been quiet in the west. Will continue to be quiet in the west. And by the way, these showers and storms, not severe, just more garden variety. Guys?
All right, thanks for that, Keith. And hurricane season picking up with our first tropical depression. Could it ruin your holiday plans for the weekend?
Well, Carl Parker is coming up. He's a hurricane specialist. He's watching it very closely. He'll show us where it's headed and if it could become our first hurricane of the season. That's coming up after your local weather on the 8s.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed. Homework is done. Baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
A Weather Channel original series.
This is a dangerous job.
Catching Hell. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, heavy thunderstorms. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 80%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
A home is more than just a house. And an office is more than just a place to work. ServiceMaster is here to offer home and business services when you need them most. We take on jobs big and small. From coast to coast, there's no project we haven't seen before. We do it all for you.
I'm Matt Paxton from TV's Hoarders. I clean the messiest homes across the country. When I need help, I count on ServiceMaster Cleaning. Call or visit them online.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
There's no better time to buy a Can-Am Spyder. Now through July 31st, get up to a $4,000 rebate, plus a 3-year warranty.
An exhilarating ride with awesome stability and control. Experience the freedom of the open road for yourself.
Find your local dealer at CanAmSpyder.com.
At every Ford dealership, you'll find the works. It's a complete checkup of the services your vehicle needs. So prepare your car for any road trip by taking it to an expert Ford technician. Because no matter your destination, good maintenance helps you save at the pump.
Get our multi-point inspection with... What's your vet IQ? Do you know why some vets recommend VetGuard Plus? Because it kills adult fleas and ticks, repels new ones, and prevents eggs from developing for a fraction of the cost. That's gotta feel good. High quality without the high cost. That's VetIQ Smart.
For diarrhea, you take Kaopectate. But for heartburn, gas, indigestion, upset stomach, or nausea, you also take Kaopectate. Kaopectate caplets, like our liquid, relieve diarrhea and soothe your stomach for relief of all those symptoms. Kaopectate, one and done.
If reliability, efficiency, and quality are what you're looking for, look no more. AMHQ Air Conditioning is opening the door on unbeatable promotions. Half off our extensive 24-point air conditioning tune-up, now only $49. And $500 off the new 2014 16-SEER Rheem Home Comfort line. And up to $895 in utility rebates. AMHQ Air Conditioning, delivering comfort to South Florida.
800-990-8968. Exos Pro is not sold in stores, so call 1-800-990-8968 today.
The Weather Channel's new morning show.
It all starts with the weather.
America's morning headquarters with Sam Champion. Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back into Wake Up with Al. Coming up at the top of the hour, AMHQ with Sam Champion.
That's right. And today, what a lucky guy. He's at the lawn of the White House after being a special guest of the President and the First Lady. Good morning, Sam. Looking great as always. What's coming up on the show today?
Good morning, you two. We're in D.C., and I think it's perfect timing to be on the East Coast right now to talk about all the weather changes that are coming up this morning on the luscious green lawns of the White House. We're back to heat and humidity from the mid-Atlantic all the way in the Northeast. There's going to be a good deal of places that hit those 90s, some of them for the first time this year. We're also going to see those heat index levels rise to above 100 degrees in a lot of locations. And if the heat and humidity doesn't get to you this week, maybe a tropical system will on the eastern seaboard. We're going to be watching exactly what you guys have been talking about, this tropical depression, the first one of the Atlantic season. Is this going to be Arthur? And if it is, how much of the East Coast does it affect just in time for our 4th of July holiday weekend? So your forecast is going to be very important and critical to making these holiday plans, but it's also going to be changing a lot this week because, Steph, I know you and Reynolds have been talking about this, just trying to figure out where this low is going to be or where this tropical system is going to be on the coastline all week long is going to keep everybody busy.
That it is, Sam. We're going to see in just a few minutes in AMHQ, and it's also really large, so we don't want to focus on the center of this thing. Usually if a system starts out large, they typically stay on the larger side.
Indeed. And one of the places it might be affecting could be the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We're talking Kill Devil Hills. Take a look at that shot.
Beautiful start to the day. And by the way, as Mike said, I was mentioning, don't cancel your plans if you're headed to the Outer Banks because this is going to move in very quickly and then leave very quickly, though it could be a hurricane when it's here at the OBX, as they call it, the Outer Banks.
That's right. Now, all along Highway 12 could be very interesting. And for more on the path of the storm and where it might affect, the timing, we have a lot of questions, and I know a man who's got a lot of answers.
Carl Parker, he is at the expert desk this morning. And Carl, right now, a lot of dry air to the north. What's going to change to strengthen this thing?
Well, you know, one thing is that we're going to see less of that northerly flow that's going to bring down that subsidence, that sinking air and that drier air that's been doing that last couple of days. We'll see less of that as that high begins to move farther off towards the west. And also, as the system is drawing up, it's going to get involved with the upper winds, and that can actually help to strengthen it a little bit when they're not right overhead. So here's a look at the latest on the system. It's moving west at 2 miles per hour. The pressure down to 1,008, 35 mile per hour tropical depression. We think there's a good chance that it will become Arthur in the next couple of days. Could be a mid-grade tropical storm in a couple of mornings, and it most likely will stay off to the east of the Sea Islands there in South Carolina. Could be some peripheral impacts as it's moving up and then towards North Carolina. And then beyond that, it is possible that it becomes a Category 1 hurricane as it is offshore or maybe right along the coast. Now, obviously, where the geography sticks out, where it juts out there, that's where the impacts could be maximized. And what it's likely going to do is drive wind and waves and water towards the coast. Now, just how much obviously depends on exactly where it is within that path. Is it going to be on the left side, in which case we maximize the impacts for the entire East Coast? Is it going to be more to the right side, in which case we see impacts probably in North Carolina, but then it could be not much more than a lot of waves and a windy day there along the northeast coast. Going to be moving very quickly, too, and that's certainly going to help out. There's going to be some heavy rain probably, but because it will be moving quickly, that's going to minimize that. So here's what's happening on the satellite picture right now, and as we've seen for a while, this low-level center is displaced displaced from the greatest area of thunderstorms. A lot of dry air, as you mentioned here. There's sinking going on, stronger northeast or northwest winds coming in on the northeast side. There's a look at the radar picture, and there's that center of circulation right there, some heavier rains over the Bahamas. There are tropical storm watches up on the east coast of Florida, and we expect that as this system stays offshore, it's still going to be driving in some stronger wind into the coast, and winds probably gusting up to about 20, 25, 30 miles per hour there in Melbourne and along the Space Coast right through this afternoon and even into early tomorrow. Steph, back to you.
All right, Carl, thank you for that. And then our other big story, the storms into the Midwest. And this is our front that's actually going to pick up Arthur. It's going to be named Arthur, I'm telling you that. So it's going to get picked up by this as it moves eastbound. St. Louis, you're going to see these storms that are coming in from your west, and it looks like they are going to get there as we head over the next hour, maybe 2 hours here along I-70. So scattered storms anywhere from the Boot Hill, Missouri, all the way into the northeast today. Again, this is that front that's actually going to pick up a tropical entity. Pretty interesting to think about that. Tonight, it continues to drop southeast and move into the northeast as well.
So many things to cover today in terms of rough weather. Party people, we love you very much. Thanks for spending some time with us. Should we do it again tomorrow?
I think we should.
Absolutely. It's been cool in the gang, guys. We're going to give you the latest, of course, in the tropics, the storm threat today, the heat. Keep it on the Weather Channel.
You can always follow us online as well, Twitter, Facebook, and weather.com.
Mwah!
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, heavy thunderstorms. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 80%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, the first day of July. We've made it into July. This summer has decided to speed on through, and welcome to AMHQ, America's morning headquarters. We will forecast everything about your Tuesday morning. This morning, I'm reporting live from the north lawn of the White House as they get the grounds ready this morning for another busy day here. This is a good time to be on the East Coast. We've got heat and humidity coming back, and we may have a tropical system. The entire AMHQ team is fanned out in Atlanta. We're ready to take on each part of the nation and make sure you're caught up on your Tuesday. Maria?
That's right, Sam. Breaking overnight, our first tropical depression of the Atlantic hurricane season. Tropical storm watches already up for the east coast of Florida, and the impact could reach the entire eastern seaboard. Will it wash away your 4th of July holiday plans as it moves up the coast?
And severe storms tear through the plains and Midwest, leaving major damage in their wake. Threat has shifted into the northeast. We'll outline where we can see hail, high winds, even a couple of tornadoes.
Also, the U.S. Supreme Court siding with Hobby Lobby, deciding for-profit companies do not need to provide insurance for contraceptives based on religious grounds. What the Obama administration is saying about the decision this morning.
And it's countdown to kick off the U.S. and Belgium. I got my gear on and I'm ready to play. Also, I got the forecast for the Stars and Stripes in Salvador. I believe that I will play.
We are glad you're with us this morning right here on AMHQ. It is your Tuesday, so let's forecast it. I'm Sam Champion. I'm live at the White House this morning, and we'll talk about all the things going on in the East Coast later on the show. But first, there are several big weather stories we've got to track this morning, and one of them is a brand new tropical depression that kind of formed late last night. Here's what we know as you wake up this morning right now. There's that low that's just spinning off the coast. It's really kind of topping out in southern Florida. If you look at it, the clouds are more on the southern section. The northern part has got a lot of dry air erosion on this. Will this thing thing hold together? Well, we're going to let you know, and we're going to track it up the coastline and let you know what shape it's in as we get toward the end of the week and the 4th of July holiday. We're also tracking some severe weather that rolled through the Midwest overnight. Maria?
Absolutely, Sam. Severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, hail bombarded Iowa for the second day, along with that torrential rain and the damaging winds. We had winds gusting to 71 miles per hour there. It snapped trees, branches like matchsticks, and causing this tractor trailer to jackknife on Highway 150. That's north of Independence. Fields of corn flattened by hail and that high wind, knocked down power lines as well, and left many residents in the dark, Sam, this morning.
Yeah, and that was a rough line of storms with very strong wind, Maria, that continued into the early morning hours here. Let's get to the East Coast weather. We've had some pictures come out overnight and into the morning that'll let you know what we're kind of talking about. And will this rain crawl up the East Coast is the big question in a tropical form. So we start with Pennsylvania. Nice shot at PNC Park in Pittsburgh there. And as you wake up this morning, you're 74 in New York, 72 in Boston, 73 in Washington, D.C. Good morning, Pittsburgh. You're 72. Little line of showers getting ready to cross through your area, most of them holding together more in West Virginia this morning. Here's as we line out the day, the way the day looks. On the East Coast, we're staying fairly dry this morning. Boston, sunny and 90. New York, 89. Washington, D.C., 93 degrees. Wilmington, about 89 degrees. This is a lot of humidity, though. You'll see the storms are kind of rolling and forming together more inland than they are on coastal areas today. That's because that's where that cold front is. So as that front wipes into this moisture, it's going to be the trigger mechanism for an awful lot of these thunderstorms to pop up later today, all the way through midweek. Late week, we're watching this moisture that's down in the south. Will it move from Florida up to the Carolinas and become our first named tropical system? Are we looking at Arthur? It's the big question of the week, and we're going to be really tackling this thing every day, watching every moment of its development. But for today, the storms are really cold front based. So they're stronger in Buffalo and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati than they will be east of the area. For the day tomorrow, as that front shifts east, well, so do the storms. So New York City tomorrow, you're in line for some of these afternoon thunderstorms. Charleston, Washington again as well. But today it's just the heat and humidity for you. And by Thursday, we're left over with some rain and showers with what could be that tropical system just kind of grazing the coastline. So we've given you New York as a target Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as we look into these things. We look into the weekend. Friday appears to be the wettest time of the weekend. Again, though, it all depends on the path of this storm. And Florida residents are watching it closely this morning. Our Mike Seidel is in Melbourne, Florida. It's just one of the places that we're going to have those storms kind of watching it offshore. Mike, it's like you got to watch it every minute. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sam. Beautiful morning at Melbourne Beach. And look, the sun is up behind the clouds. And if you look in the distance, what we call crepuscular rays coming down towards the Atlantic. It is not angry by any means. We've got about 2 footers, 3 to 4 footers at the buoys, 20 miles offshore. What we've noticed, though, last night's high tide has taken out some sand. There's a bit of a cut on the beach. Next high tide later on this morning. Take a look at the radar. We're in good shape right now. If you got a morning jog, commute around here, the Space Coast, the Treasure Coast, there is nothing imminent. All the heavy rain, as you can see, is well offshore and way down to the south, off South Florida, off Miami, Fort Lauderdale, out through Bimini and the Bahama Bank. Now, we do have tropical storm watches up from Flagler Beach to the north to down to the south towards the Vero Beach area. And those areas could get some wind gusts as high as 30 to 40 miles an hour with some of the squalls later tonight and tomorrow, Sam. But that would be about it. The real impact here with an offshore system would be locally heavy rain. Sam?
Oh, yeah. And, Mike, we've got to wait till that thing, forms and puts itself together and starts pounding the water before we get really those tough waves moving in your direction. But I know you're there to watch this storm all the way up the coastline. Well, now we've gotten you from Maine all the way to Florida, but let's check in on the thunderstorms that are rolling for you on your Tuesday. Carl Parker will do that. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Sam. Couple of storms now in the central part of the U.S. and also a few coming through the Northeast. We expect to see more activity today, but it's not going to be as severe as it's been in the last couple of days. And let's begin with the radar picture here in parts of Missouri, right along 44 and 70. There are some strong storms here, but they are not severe storms, at least not right now. A couple of those coming towards St. Louis. Then a little line is now making its way through West Virginia. The setup is a little bit different today. We often talk about the fact that you need warm and humid air and then stronger upper level winds over top of that. So there's the warm and humid air coming up ahead of the cold front. And now let's put on those strong upper level winds and notice that they are now a little bit displaced from from the area of warm and humid air. There is going to be a bit of overlap there, especially into the Ohio Valley, parts of the interior Northeast later today, but it's not quite as co-located, as we say, which means the severe threat not quite as high. There may be a tornado or two, but mostly what we're looking at today is a wind and hail threat. Eastern lakes, interior parts of the Northeast, the Appalachians, not quite to the 95 corridor, also back through the Ohio Valley and on down into the middle Mississippi Valley. Then tomorrow we will watch some stronger storms move across parts of the Northeast and make it to 95. Again, it's going to be primarily wind and hail and not that high of a tornado threat. Maria, over to you.
All right, Carl, I'm going to pick up the tropical system where you left off and talk about how it's going to be impacting thunderstorms today for parts of the southeast. So another soggy one in parts of Florida. Let's take you out to Daytona Beach. Not a bad start to the morning. Beautiful out there, 76 degrees. Just, you know, do me a favor. Don't let our emergency responders have to work any harder than they do already. You know, there is that always, when you have these kinds of systems offshore, that there's that increased risk of rip currents, so just be aware of that. But yes, for sure, the showers and thunderstorms certainly a threat. Not so much right now, looking pretty good. Miami, Fort Pierce, towards Orlando, Tampa, and Fort Myers also looking good this morning. But you know the drill here. You've got that close by, so as we go through the day, you could get a couple of these showers and thunderstorms to really start, and you get that tropical moisture enhancement, and you get some heavy rainfall. Tampa, Melbourne, Daytona Beach, all those areas, you're looking at that threat for the day today as temperatures are into the mid-80s. Melbourne, that is the case for you. So plan on the chance for showers starting in the mid to late morning on and through the afternoon and evening hours. Again, temperatures holding into the mid-80s. As you might imagine, again, flash flooding is a possibility. If you're doing the theme parks this week, obviously a big vacation weekend for so many families. Big heads up as we go through the rest of the week, especially into tomorrow with the threat for more showers and thunderstorms. And of course, those highs pushing that 90-degree mark, all that humidity. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself and the kids. Now, if you only had 4 minutes to get everything you need to know this morning, it is now with your local forecast, followed by today's top headlines with Anna Rittis. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 80%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook. Today, heavy thunderstorms. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected.
9 minutes past the hour. Good morning. Welcome back to AMHQ. Here are the news headlines you'll be hearing about throughout your day. Parts of Iowa battered by severe weather last night, and 1 man has died in those storms. This is in Fairfax, Iowa, where a building collapsed on top of him. The man's body was discovered after the storm passed through the area. His name has not been released. And in Cedar Rapids, emergency crews will resume their search this morning for a teenager who was swept away into a storm sewer drain last night. The teen is one of 2 boys who police say were headed to play frisbee before being swept away by storm waters. The other was found shortly after the incident with minor injuries. Hobby Lobby supporters celebrating their victory this morning, a day after the U.S. Supreme Court decided in a 5-4 vote that the craft store could refuse on religious grounds to provide insurance coverage for contraceptives. While the owners of Hobby Lobby and their supporters were happy with the decision, the Obama administration was not.
We are truly thankful for a decision that allowed us to continue operating our family business according to our principles.
Today's decision jeopardizes the health of women who are employed by these companies.
The court also said women who work for these companies can get contraceptive coverage another way under the Affordable Care Act. And in health news this morning, a large group of doctors now recommending women may no longer need at least one routine gynecology exam. The new recommendations refer to the pelvic exam. They say the practice may actually do more harm than good, leading to false positives, potentially adding to healthcare costs, and are a source of stress for some women. And those are your headlines for this half hour. Sam, back to you in D.C.
All right, thanks, Anna Rittis. It's beautiful here, I got to tell you, but the heat and humidity is going to creep up later on today. You send us pictures every day and let us know what the weather's like in your hometown. So let's show you the pictures of the Chicago area when the storms rolled through. And a beautiful shot here. You can see kind of the dark clouds hovering over the city. Chicago was drenched yesterday. You picked up a kind of a record at 2.6 inches of rain. Hashtag day ahead. It's where we show you exactly what's going on the forecast in all parts of the country this morning. So here's our day ahead. Twin Mountain, New Hampshire. We'll kind of show you. You told us you wanted to hear a little bit more about this area. It was Jane I. So 7 a.m. in the morning at 65 degrees under perfectly sunny skies. At 1 o'clock, you got a few clouds rolling in, but your day doesn't really go downhill. It's just sun and clouds. It's kind of a nice day. 7 p.m., it's the same situation at about 80 degrees. Maria?
All right, Sam, thank you so much. Coming up on 12 minutes past the hour, talking about the storms in Iowa this morning. They have moved out. Doesn't mean the threat is gone. In Davenport, they are preparing for major flooding. Barriers have gone up along the Mississippi River in an attempt to hold back that rising water. The Mississippi River at Rock Island is expected to crest Friday night at 21.8 feet. That's less than a foot lower than the record set back in 1993. And boy, do we remember that year. Davenport picked up just over 5 inches of rain in June. Now, flash flooding caused roads to collapse in Dubuque and Cedar Rapids. Check this out. The road just swallowing up 2 vehicles north of Mount Vernon. Look at that. The 2 cars were stuck in the hole for hours, but no one was injured. And the DOT has closed the road and says they're not sure yet how the damage and how long that damage will take to fix. All right, obviously some tough going there. It's 12 minutes past the hour. We do want to turn now to Reese and a look at sports. Big day ahead. You believe that we will win?
Yeah, I got my colors on. I'm ready to go. World Cup fever, of course, is boiling hot today. Coming up later on my scorecast, I have a live report from Brazil. Also, I'll set the scene for this afternoon's match. But first, NBA free agency has already tipped off. The big 3 are officially on the market, and LeBron is driving the price way up. He said wherever he signs, he wants a max contract. That's understandable, which is projected to be $20.7 million. Now get this, in his 11 years in the league, he has never been the highest paid player on his own team. I repeat, the best player in the world has never been the highest paid player on his own team. So if they want to keep LeBron, there has to be some salary cuts. D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Udonis Haslams, ushers, ticket takers, and beer men. It's time to show LeBron some love. Chip him off, all right? In other news, bye-bye Brooklyn. Jason Kidd is the new coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks traded 2 second-round picks to the Nets. Now, the Bucks, of course, fired their coach Larry Drew only after rampant reports of negotiations with Kidd, like finding your boyfriend on Tinder. How rude. The Nets will start looking to replace Kidd immediately. Larry Drew just rented Waiting to Exhale. I was looking for that, but he got the last copy. I'm just saying, I live in New York, and I'm available, Brooklyn.
You know, I'm noticing that a lot of the players that I watched growing up play are now becoming coaches.
Yes, that's right. There's this trend of just hiring guys like straight off of the court to coach. So, I mean, I just came off a court. It wasn't an NBA court. It was a rec league, but I can still do some things, you know?
No. And Reese, by the way, stop interviewing for jobs while you're on the show.
Seriously, he puts himself out there quite a bit, Sam.
I know, it's just actually bad form. Could you cut it out, Reese? I mean, you have a job. It's right here on the show.
But he wants to be the highest paid member of the team.
I do. I'm ambitious like Sam Champion.
All right. Okay. When we come back on AMHQ, we've got 3 things you need to know today to get you ready for your morning, including hundreds of more troops are headed to Iraq. Now, they say they're not fighting. We'll tell you what they're going to do when they get there. Plus, we're closely watching Tropical Depression number 1. This is that big ball of clouds that just kind of popped up off the coast of Florida. Well, it's currently sitting there, but where does it go as we get through the week? And what does it mean for the 4th of July holiday? That is this week, and a lot of people are headed to the East Coast to celebrate it. Carl will take a look at that storm and how it impacts your holiday weekend when we come back on AMHQ. Beautiful shot in Melbourne, Florida. We'll see you in just a second.
You won't find any anthills up here, but I just found some ants. Going from here to there. But by alternating these baits, I make sure that these guys are going nowhere. To catch a pest, you've got to think like a pest. Not just in any home, in your home.
What makes Florida's natural orange juice taste so uniquely fresh and delicious? Is it the rich Florida soil or the perfect blend of sunshine, rain, and temperature? Maybe it's the fact that Florida's natural oranges are never imported. They're raised right here in Florida and passed with care from our hands to yours. 100% pure, 100% Florida. Florida's natural. Try our new citrus smoothies in the chilled juice section next to our orange juice.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down tread and wearing out safety. Then along came the Michelin Man, who got drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find your tire at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Let's unplug the past. Let's find a better way to wash that, shop those, and save these. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Whirlpool washer dryer, just $3.49 each.
Mommy, I made poo-poo! That's great, honey!
What's your vet IQ? Do you know why some vets recommend VetGuard Plus? Because it kills adult fleas and ticks, repels new ones, and prevents eggs from developing for a fraction of the cost. That's gotta feel good. High quality without the high cost. That's Vet IQ Smart.
After 19 years of pro ball, I know pain, but Icy Hot lets me power past it.
Icy Hot No Mess Roll-On. Powerful relief for shoulders, backs, even arthritis. Icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away with no mess.
Icy Hot. Power past pain.
Is that your mother's laundry?
Yes, it is. I had to stop by her house and pick it up.
Well, I'm glad doing the laundry is your job.
She loves how our laundry is white, bright, and fluffy since we got our new Connecticut from Aquasoft. She's going to be here soon. I better get started.
She's here already? That's it. I'm going to call Aquasoft right now so she can get her own Connecticut. Your family will be so glad you called. Really.
Our way of saying thank you. Wild tiger numbers are at an all-time low. Please help save them now.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, heavy thunderstorms. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 80%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It is 19 minutes after the hour. Welcome back to AMHQ. We're glad you're with us this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you. Hello, America, but good morning to you in New York City. Spent the weekend there with you. You had a beautiful weekend this weekend, or we did, actually. Now you've got a few clouds kind of with you this morning. The heat and humidity comes crawling back in. It's 74 degrees right now, but you're going to need to watch the forecast because we've got a storm system kind of crawling up the coastline that we need to tell you about in case you're just waking up and you don't know it. There's a brand new tropical depression kind of putting itself together in Florida, and that's going to be our main story. But right here on AMHQ, we're dedicated to getting you ready for your entire day beyond just the weather. weather, but we're going to knock out the weather better than anyone else. But here are the stories we're working on for you. The United States is increasing its military presence in Iraq. 300 more troops are being sent overseas. Now, the new troops will provide security, they say, for the U.S. Embassy, Baghdad Airport, and other facilities in Iraq. They are not intended to be combat-ready troops. After dealing with rain and heat in Brazil, today is nearly pitch perfect for the World Cup play, if you will. Hopefully the grass is all dried after all the rain, but as the U.S. takes on Belgium this afternoon, we'll show you the conditions live from Brazil. Reese has that in his scorecast this morning. And later, FEMA representatives will be in Minnesota assessing the flood damage today. It's the first step and hopefully providing some federal aid to the state and those affected by the flooding that was in late spring and now into early summer. It's just been so difficult with those floodwaters just sitting and sitting and sitting there. Hopefully they'll go down a little bit later this week, but we'll have that forecast as well. The big story this morning, though, is that tropical depression off the coast of Florida and what it does to the East Coast this entire week. Carl Parker is tracking that system. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning. A lot of questions, as is usually the case, about where exactly the system is going to go and how strong it's going to be. Right now, it is a 35-mile-per-hour area of low pressure, getting closer to becoming a tropical storm, not moving very much at all. It's moving west at 2 miles per hour, and the pressure has been coming down now down to 1,008 millibars. So let's talk about what's going to happen in the next couple of days. It is likely that this storm will strengthen to a tropical storm. It would be Arthur. It could, in fact, be a mid-grade tropical storm as it most likely passes to the east of the Sea Islands there in South Carolina and then takes aim on North Carolina. Now, that has a lot to do with geography. Obviously, North Carolina sticks out, and that makes it a lot more vulnerable to tropical systems. And we could be talking about a hurricane as it comes up and across North Carolina. Now, that's sort of the high end of the possibilities. There's a range of possibilities. It's still possible that we're talking about a mid or high grade tropical storm at this point. And then, of course, the question becomes, where exactly does it go? If it's closer to the coast, that maximizes everything. The wind, the waves, the water, the rainfall. It's going to be driving into the coast here. And if it's along the left-hand side of that track, that's going to make for a pretty lousy Friday and Saturday from the mid-Atlantic region and up into New England. But if it takes a track that's farther offshore, then that's going to minimize those impacts, and we may not see much more than just a windy day and very high surf there across parts of New England. Beyond that, storm continues up into the Canadian Maritimes and should be reaching there by early Sunday morning, so it will be moving fairly quickly. Here is the low-level circulation, and we're still seeing the thunderstorms displaced to the south, so there's still strong wind coming out of the north. Not ideal for strengthening the center of circulation right in here, but we will get impacts along the coast, some gusty wind, tropical storm watches now up along the Space Coast and farther south, and the storm is slowly going to be lifting up and to the north and offshore there just off the coast of Florida next couple of days. Anna Riddis, over to you.
Thanks, Carl. And this tropical depression is taking aim at parts of the East Coast ahead of the July 4th holiday, and cities in its path are preparing. Our Regia Meggi is live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where they're closely watching this storm. She'll talk live with the mayor, John Rhodes, about the preparations the city is making to ensure residents are both informed and ready for the impacts this storm could bring to the Carolina coast as thousands head there to vacation.
Absolutely. All right, Anna Riddis, thank you. 23 minutes past the hour. This morning's positive tilt is about a 4-letter word taking New Orleans by storm. The word is love. 2 men are choosing to remain anonymous, have fastened at least 350 love signs to power poles around the city. Their experiment: will these signs have an impact on crime? They plotted the signs on a map and will track crime statistics accordingly. Do you think all you need is love?
All you need is love.
Anna Riddis, that's a yes.
Yes. I mean, I never knew that New Orleans had a problem with love. I thought that love always found a home in New Orleans.
They have heart, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
Well, at least, you know, love happens in New Orleans quite often that I've seen. But they might want to try that in Detroit or Philly or places like that.
I like where your head's at. Sam, what about you? What do you think?
I think it's a good start. I know exactly what Reese is talking about. I had a long weekend in New Orleans not long ago. All right, many people are watching a tropical depression form off the coast of Florida, and that development is going to impact your weekend and your week. We're going to talk about it when we come back on AMHQ.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, like, mess with the world.
50 miles on a flat.
Because if your tires keep rolling, your day does too. And there's no better place to get your Bridgestone Drive Guard tires than Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Ike. Andrew. Rita. Ivan. Sandy. Meet Chris. Jackie. Joe. Shannon. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
For over 10 years, I've been a huge fan of Blue Emu's non-greasy, deep-penetrating cream. My wife and I love it. And for hard-to-reach places, I use Blue Emu Pain Relief Spray.
It's odor-free and soothes all my muscle aches and pains.
Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed. Homework is done. Baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Ground fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
Ugh, this dress.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
A Weather Channel original series.
This is a dangerous job.
Catching Hell. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, heavy thunderstorms. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 80%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
After the hour. Welcome back to AMHQ, America's morning headquarters. And we really are this morning because we're right in front of the White House. So, shh, I think the first family's waking up. Just try to keep it down a little bit, or that's what they've been yelling at me all morning long. Maybe it's not for you at all. All right, let's get you in front of today's weather, and we'll do that by putting the POW maps on the floor and the best maps in the business on the wall. And hey, Tropical Depression number 1 is the story of the day. As this little thing decided to pop up south of Florida, all right, if it would stay offshore, then it's no big deal. But the way the models have this thing crawling up to the north, it looks like it could impact a lot of places, even becoming a hurricane for the Carolinas. Carolinas later this week, and maybe even traveling all the way up the northeastern coast. The southeast gets storms today, and those storms are going to be really potent. A lot of this because of the moisture that's going to be headed down there because of this developing tropical system. There's so much available moisture, and I think we'll shake up some powerful storms, particularly in Florida this afternoon. The northeast will get stormy, but for an entirely different reason. It's not a tropical nature, even though you've got that heat and humidity you're dealing with. The storms are rolling along a cold front today from Syracuse all the way through Pittsburgh. Charleston, you're in line for them as well, and some of those storms could be pretty strong. Let's hear from Maria this morning about East Coast weather. Maria?
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. This is the day you want to make sure you have a way to get warnings, because I'm sure a lot of us are going to be out and about, maybe preparing for the holiday weekend in so many ways, whether it's events or maybe the weather that we're going to be contending with. So Buffalo for you, that means plan on showers and thunderstorms. And you saw from Sam's map, some of those will be on the strong side. What we're concerned about, certainly the heavy rainfall, but also the damaging wind threat, which is possible for today. Out there right now, if you're heading out towards Pittsburgh, not too much. Charleston too, a few those showers making their way in, but for the most part it is a quiet start to the day. But we fast forward and get you through the lunch hour. After the morning rush, you've got some showers popping up from Buffalo. Now they're going through in the afternoon from Pittsburgh to State College, moving into the Poconos, Harrisburg, and Philadelphia here by later in the afternoon, overnight tonight. Again, that severe risk, this is just giving you the heads up of where some of those may be kicked up a notch here with those heavy rain and the wind threat. From Binghamton back through Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Buffalo all included. Notice who's out again for the most part: Atlantic City, Long Island beaches, and on up into New England. But keep in mind that tornado threat, a 3 on our Torcon for portions of western New York. But we do want to concentrate on what's going to be that tropical depression 1 and how that moisture could be influencing this part of the country, Carl.
Maria, we are looking at what is likely to be Arthur in the next couple of days and could even become a hurricane as it moves up towards North Carolina. Here's the latest on that system from the Hurricane Center. 35-mile-per-hour tropical depression, not moving very much at all. The pressure 1,008 millibars, and we do expect that it's going to gradually start to move to the north, strengthen into perhaps a mid-grade tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane, and affecting perhaps eastern North Carolina and also southeastern Virginia. So this could be a big deal come Friday morning in those areas. In the meantime, though, there will be some impacts in Florida. We want to turn now to our Mike Seidel, and he has been stationed there along the east coast of Florida. And Mike, I see that the beaches may be getting a little bit of a workout there, but not real high surf, at least not yet.
Oh, not yet, Carl. We're running 2 to 3 footers. We've had a little loss of sand overnight with a high tide. Next tide about 11, but we're all soaking up this beautiful sunrise out here in Melbourne Beach. The wind's coming down the beach from the north at about 10 miles an hour. We've got some gust in those buoys as high as about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Water temperature up in the low 80s. And again, that's fuel for the fire, but this system is going to stay off the coast. That's a good thing. The only way we're going to get gusty winds over 30 miles an hour, any of those squalls that rotate in later tonight into Thursday. Right now, or into Wednesday rather. Look at the radar right now, and you can see that there is just nothing to worry about in the short term. All the rain is off South Florida, between South Florida and the Bahamas. We'll keep you updated from here. Again, a tropical storm watch continues for the Space Coast and the Treasure Coast. Carl, back to you.
All right, looks like it's not going to be too bad there. Mike, thank you so much. And let's get a look at today's headlines. And Anaritis, GM's woes continuing, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right, Carl. And all of this coming on the heels of them announcing their compensation plan. General Motors now recalling an additional 7.6 million vehicles in the U.S. The recalls involve vehicles from 1997 to 2014. And these cars are being recalled because the key may rotate in the ignition. General Motors says drivers should take all extra keys and keychains off their key rings as a precaution. Yesterday, GM also offering to pay several $1 million to each of the families of people killed or severely injured in accidents caused by defective ignition switches. The Coast Guard suspending the search for a teenager who was swept out to sea off the coast of Ocean City, New Jersey. The 14-year-old was swept away by a rip current while swimming with a group of friends Sunday night, and the Coast Guard spent about 20 hours yesterday searching for the boy. And more problems for the already controversial fracking. A new study found that newer fracking wells leak more methane gas than older, more traditional wells. While the only wells surveyed were in Pennsylvania, researchers say the results could be a problem for drilling across the nation. We continue to track the first tropical depression of the Atlantic hurricane season on the other side of the break.
My daughter is studying to be a dentist, and she gave me advice. She said, Dad, go pro with Crest Pro Health.
4 out of 5 dentists confirm these Pro Health products helped maintain a professional clean.
Crest Pro Health really brought my mouth to the next level.
Go pro with Crest Pro Health.
At every Ford dealership, you'll find the works. It's a complete checkup of the services your vehicle needs. So prepare your car for any road trip by taking it to an expert Ford technician. Because no matter your destination, good maintenance helps you save at the pump.
Get our multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more for $29.95 or less.
Get a complete vehicle checkup only at your Ford dealer.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, then wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Surely a vacuum shouldn't just work on carpets. Well, the Dyson DC65 cleans better than any other vacuum across hard floors and carpets. Works for me.
Really? So our business can be on AT&T's network for $175 a month?
Yep, all 5 of you for $175.
Our clients need a lot of attention.
There's unlimited talk and text.
We're working deals all day.
You get 10 gigabytes of data to share.
What about expansion potential?
Add a line anytime for $15 a month.
Low dues, great terms.
Let's close.
Introducing AT&T Mobile Share Value Plans with our best ever pricing for business.
Discover Card.
Hey, I heard you guys can help me with fraud protection.
Yeah, we help with fraud protection. We monitor every purchase every day and alert you if anything looks unusual.
Wow. You're really looking out for us.
We are. And if there are unauthorized purchases on your Discover Card, you're never held responsible.
Just to be clear, you are saying frog protection, right?
Yeah, fraud protection.
Frog protection.
Fraud protection.
Frog.
Fraud.
Frog.
Fraud.
I think we're on the same page.
We're totally on the same page.
At Discover, we treat you like you'd treat you. Fraud protection. Get it at discover.com.
Thunder Dragons. It's time to get a hotel.
Hey, Razor, check this out. We can save big with Priceline Express deals.
You know what, man? These guys ain't no dragons.
They're cool. These deals are legit.
Yeah, we're cool.
She's cool. We're cool.
A Weather Channel original series.
This is a dangerous job.
Catching Hell. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, heavy thunderstorms. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 80%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Minutes before the top of the hour. Welcome back into AMHQ. We are expecting a new advisory from the National Hurricane Center on Tropical Depression 1 within the next few minutes. Now, even though it's still out in the Atlantic, cities that could be impacted by the storm are already taking precautions. And our Reagan Medji is live in Myrtle Beach this morning with a look at what's being done right now. And Reagan, sometimes, you know, with these early storms and it's just a tropical depression, I personally think it's great to hear that they really are taking it seriously and starting the precautions. They definitely are. Now, of course, when you look around me, it doesn't look like anything. It really is the calm before the storm. It's going to be a high of 88 degrees today and then throughout tomorrow as well. But it's really going to start seeing a storm activity here Wednesday evening and all of Thursday. Now, then that poses a question about Friday. It's going to be 4th of July. I'm joined now by the mayor of Myrtle Beach, John Rhodes. And basically, how popular is Myrtle Beach this time of year, especially for the 4th of July holiday?
Well, we usually have around 400,000 people here during the 4th of July week. It's, you know, Myrtle Beach has been chosen as the #1 family beach resort in America, so the crowds continue to grow and we continue to get excited.
Now, do you get concerned with, now it's a tropical depression, are you getting concerned with the storm approaching, of course, of all times this weekend?
Well, there's no question it's not a good opportunity to have a storm or anything out in the Atlantic any time of the year, but right now, with 4th of July being probably the biggest weekend of the year for us, any kind of disturbance you have is going to make people think that, oh my God, we can't go down, it's going to be bad. But as prediction this morning on the weather channels I saw, what was happening with the storm, it's going to veer off to the right, and we'll get on the western part of the storm, which is usually, it's over 100 miles out in the sea. We may get some clouds, a little rain. The biggest concern we'd have would be rip currents. That's what you always get, rip currents.
Yeah, I know we talked about that earlier today. Well, thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it coming out. Of course, you know, it's a beautiful time here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Maria, back to you in the studio.
All right, good advice, Reagan. Thank you so much. And we want to send it now back out to Sam at the White House. And Sam, you're not just there just hanging out with the president. Maybe you are.
Yeah, it was a nice evening last night. It was a kind of a cocktail reception for LGBT last night, and the president and the first lady came out and made a little speech and greeted some people. I'll tell you, there's a little buzz going on today because the president was talking about the pastry chef at the White House who's been there for 7 years is retiring, and of course, in just the fun, the president's kind of fun in these small groups. And so he comes out and he said that he was eating the pies and noticed that his cholesterol went up the first year of the White House, but he couldn't stop eating them. So he was wondering what this chef had put in the crust, and he made the joke, you know, was it crack? And he kind of like let it linger and laugh. Well, apparently the political dudes are taking it on today, and you're going to be hearing about that, about the president saying, was there crack in the crust? Of course, it was just a joke, but you know how it is in news in Washington and also across the country. It will make news today. Later, just a little bit later here at the White House, we're also going to talk to John Podesta, the counselor to the president on climate change. We'll talk about his, what some are saying is an aggressive idea to tackle climate change and to curb greenhouse gases and the challenges that await that plan. We'll talk about that later on this morning. Also, we've got some reporting of flooding going on near the Chicagoland area. A lot of roads have got some standing waters issues because of the rain that moved through on Monday, so we'll be looking into that for you this morning. And there's a big event going on that's captivating the entire country. The U.S. soccer team is taking on Belgium today. So, Reese Waters, you got your cozy ready? You're ready to flip back the leg rest on the chair?
Oh yeah, I got my koozie. I said yesterday it was going to be raining red Solo cups. They were sold out at Kroger, so I got some blue ones. How you love that? Everybody's ready for the World Cup. The matches kick off today at 12 noon. Argentina and Switzerland. Nice and comfortable weather on the pitch. It'll be around 70 with a little bit of sun. Clear day. I would say the advantage is Argentina. It's not too hot. They're very dependent on the individual brilliance of Lionel Messi, and I think he'll have enough gas to make it through the 90 minutes. Then the match we've all been waiting for, the U.S. and Belgium, 70s and sunny in Salvador. I forecast productivity at work will come to a grinding halt this afternoon, and a couple of us will make the mistake of going back to work less than 100%. Don't let it be you. Now, yesterday's action at the World Cup, France gets past Nigeria, got a couple of goals late after a valiant effort from Nigeria. Unbelievable effort by their goalie specifically and by their defense, but they would go on to win 2-0 in advance. And then later in the afternoon, Germany and Algeria. Now, Germany did not play well at all. It looked like this one was going to go to PKs, but Germany would pull out the win 2-1. There you see, that's France right there. Oh, no, there you go. That's Germany. So Germany will advance. They go to the quarterfinals after valiant showings from both. Africa is eliminated from the tournament, but not from our hearts. Coming up later in Scorecast, more on the U.S. versus Belgium. We'll have a live report from Brazil to set the scene in Salvador and forecast the U.S.'s chances. And Maria, by the way, Waffle House has said they do not believe in Belgian waffles or ones they consider sanitary. That was a little bit strong.
Oh, okay, Reeds, thank you. Coming up, your tropical update.
School's out and summer's in. Kick off your road trip at Pep Boys Hit the Road Jack sales event. This week only, get a DIY oil change for just $14.99 after rebate. Or let us do it for you for only $21.99. Don't miss the Hit the Road Jack sales event. Trust the boys to get you there.
Untamed fruit flavor. Jolly Rancher.
After 50 years of designing cars for crash survival, Subaru has developed our most revolutionary feature yet. A car that can see trouble and stop itself to avoid it. When the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety tested front crash prevention, nobody beat Subaru models with eyesight. Not Honda, not Ford, or any other brand. Subaru Eyesight, an extra set of eyes every time you drive.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More.
Use your head to hold your hat, and your smarts will tell you where you're at, and to think about the zoo, and to nod hello to you and you. Use your head when you're online, to keep what's yours inside your mind, and to know